Thank you. Really appreciate it.
Anytime.
Brill.
See you soon.
See you soon. Thanks, lovely. Bye, bye, bye. Oh, I love Tori. She's so full of energy. I don't know where she gets it from. She's off now. Fab. Brill. Right, I can see another lovely face who's just joined us. Guys, I want to it's so good listening to Tori talk about all things well-being and mindset and all of that sort of stuff, because I think it's so important. And you'll hear me in Childcare Collective talking a lot around mindset and managing those emotions and things that you can do that are really kind of important for you as business owners. But actually what Tori's done is she's kind of reframed that a little bit and talked about the things that you can do and the things you can talk about to kind of supplement all the stuff you probably already know. I'm sure you all already know in terms of supporting the kids and their families in your setting. So I hope you found that really useful, and just looking at the feedback coming through on the chat, I think that is it has been really good. So what I'd love to do for you now, for our next little guest speaker, is introduce you to the very lovely Lisa Jackson, who has got a cool surname, but I would say that. And I'll let Lisa introduce herself sort of real properly, but she's going to sort of tell you about turning social media into your superpower and really maximising that, which is something that, you know, as a business coach, I'm definitely telling you, focus on your marketing and think about how social media can really be your friend at the moment. So I'm going to welcome Lisa. Lisa, hello. Okay.
Hi.
Hello.
You all right?
Yeah, we can hear you, and you should be able to share your screen. I know she sent over some beautiful slides that I have already had a little sneak peek at, so I know that you guys are in for a treat today. The chat box is open, and I'll let you take over, Lisa, and you can sorry, my words are failing already. You can take everybody through what you guys have prepared, and don't do a Tori and forget to introduce yourself properly as well.
No worries, that's fine. Okay, can everyone see my screen?
Yeah.
Can you see that PowerPoint? Cool, that's great. So Bex asked me along today, which is really lovely of her. Thank you, Bex. And I'm going to show you and talk you through how to supercharge your social media today. So first of all, I just wanted to run through things that I'm going to cover. So I'll tell you a little bit about me first. I'll introduce myself properly so you know who you're talking to. I'm going to propose a new way of thinking as well for your social media. Some things to think about before you start using social media for business. Don't panic. If you already use it for business, that's great, but you can take a step back and consider these things as well. I'm going to give you an insight of what you should be posting, how you can manage it, how to measure it, and a bit of time, hopefully. I haven't sort of practiced this or know how long it runs through, so I'll just have to keep an eye on the time. Bex, you can tell me to shut up because I do have a bit of a habit of talking too much. But we do, if anybody's got any questions at the end, please feel free to ask. Okay, so who am I? My name is Lisa Jackson. I'm a marketing consultant and social media coach. I have worked in marketing, not that I'd like to admit it, but for over 20 years now. And I've been running my business, Acorn Marketing, since 2011. I'm based up in the beautiful Lake District, which is fantastic, but I have clients all over the UK. I'm sort of a rare kind of marketing consultant. You probably see now as the years have gone on, there are lots of social media experts and these so-called experts that pop up who just focus on social media. But my background is very much traditional marketing. And as I've grown up and worked through the marketing industry, social media and marketing techniques have developed as well. I mean, when I first started my career, I worked in a fashion PR company in London, and we used to fax press releases out. And I remember somebody saying to me, do you want to Google that? And I was like, Google? What's Google? So it's changed so much as time has gone along, as my career has progressed. So I've sort of moved with the times as well. I'm also a chartered marketer, which means I have to do a certain amount of continued professional development each year to make sure that the advice that I am giving is relevant and up to date. And you know that what I'm telling you is sort of relevant and correct for the time that we're in. So that's just a little bit about me. Let's delve in. A new way of thinking. So social media is a really great tool, and you probably all in some capacity have social media, whether that's you watch videos on YouTube or you have a Twitter account or you've got your personal Facebook page. Some of you might have business profiles set up already. And we're all very used to using it for ourselves. And even as a childcare setting, a business establishment, you possibly have a Facebook page or some kind of social media already set up for your business. But you may be using it in a way of sort of sharing information for parents, current parents, photographs of what the children are up to, updates of the day, that kind of thing. So parents can see what their children are doing in your childcare setting. However, there is so much more to social media and for using social media for business, and a lot more that you can be doing with it. I have, just as well to put this in context, I worked with I don't sort of know definitely what establishments you all work in. I'm guessing it's some form of childcare setting. One of my clients I worked with for about 5 years was a private school up in Cumbria, and particularly focusing on their preschool and out of hours childcare as well. So these are some of the techniques I used to use for them, and it was very much a business rather than just sharing information with parents and updates of what the children are doing, of thinking more in a business capacity of how we use our social media. So I want you to start thinking about social media in a different way. I want you to start thinking about social media as a tool for business and a marketing tool. By thinking of your social media in a more strategic way, you can use it to build your followers. You can attract new customers and inevitably then increase your occupancy in your childcare setting. So going forward, I want you to think of it as a tool to help you grow your business. So now you've probably all, like I say, got that Facebook page set up and running, and it's great, but there are a few things that I want you to think about. So even if you've had it going for a while and it's sort of, going along nicely, I want you to go right back to basics and think about these key things that will help you think about your social media in a more business-minded manner. And by applying these thoughts as well, you can then make it work more effectively for your business. So social media can be a drag sometimes, right? It takes time to think about what you can post, and then sorting out the photos and making sure if there's any children you've not got permission to take photos of entertaining them while you take a picture of the group, and then getting it off your camera and downloading it, getting it onto Facebook. It can take quite a while. It can be a bit of a pain in the bum. And it's the question as well of the resources for that. So who's going to do it? Who's going to take responsibility for thinking of those posts, and who's going to think about sharing it? Who's going to do that? And as well, sometimes of having that creative block, you don't know what to post. And quite often what I found in many organizations is that there's always one person who doesn't think that social media works. It's not for them. It's not good. It doesn't work for business. Might even be you, and hopefully I can convince you different today. But quite often you come across that one person that needs to be convinced that social media is actually worth spending time on. So we're going to go right back to basics, which quite often not many people do, and many people forget about doing this. Many people forget about strategy. So you need to have a strategy for your social media. And it's not just about posting random posts or thinking about what your current parents want to see, of updates of what the children have been doing that day. There are other apps that you can use for that, like Tapestry and there's other ones I can't remember the name right now, but you know, there's other places that you can share with parents what their children have been doing. But having a strategy gives you more of a plan, and it also gives you something to aim for, because quite often with our social media we just fire posts out and hope that it's working. We don't really know. There's no way of really grasping if it's working for us or not. But by having a plan and some aims and having that strategy in place will give you something to measure it against. Okay, the next thing I want you to think about is target customer. So all these things I'm going to talk about will form your strategy. So target customer is something really, really important to think about. Now, with your business page, you might think, well, the people that follow our page are the parents of the current children. But really, what we want our followers to be are prospective parents or grandparents. I want you to really think about that. Who are these people? Who's your ideal customer that you want to come in and follow your page, or potentially make an inquiry or bring their children to your childcare setting? Who are those people? Are they male? Are they female? What sort of age are they? Are they like in their 20s, or are they grandparents potentially that might need some help with childcare? How local do they live to your setting? What type of people are they? Do they have money? Are they, are they on benefits? What kind of car do they drive? You really need to get a clear picture of who you're talking to on your social media, because your current parents, they're going to be brilliant for word of mouth, sharing what you do, telling people about what you do. They're like your mini advocates. They love you already. But what we want your social media to do is to talk to prospective parents. So you also need to consider where these people hang out online. Facebook and Instagram are generally the top two places for sort of like a consumer audience. And I want to add here as well, like quite often people think that they have to be on every social media platform. And like I am, because that's what I do for my job. I need to understand how all these social media platforms work for clients. And sometimes I find that clients set up social media accounts everywhere because they think they need to be everywhere. And you really don't. If you have been using Facebook and you feel comfortable with that, then concentrate on Facebook. Don't worry about doing anything else. Maybe you've already got Instagram set up and you think, well, yeah, potentially we could use this for Instagram. There is no reason why you shouldn't use Instagram as well. You can have both going and you can share this similar kind of post to both. But don't feel the pressure. If people are saying to you, oh, we should be on Instagram or we should be on Twitter, only go with what you can manage, what you enjoy doing and what you feel comfortable, and where you've got the resources to spend time doing that. So I think that's something really important to consider. So we need to think about the person you're talking to on social media. Who is it that you want to make that inquiry? That is the type of person you need to be talking to. And so how do we do that? So alongside thinking about who our target customer is, we also need to think about what those people want to know. Current parents see social media as a place where they can see what the kids are doing, you know, they can be your champions, they can tag friends in posts, look what little Charlie's doing, sort of thing. Don't get me wrong, it is a really great place to show people what you do every day, and there is definitely a place for those posts, because prospective parents as well will want to see what you do with children in your childcare setting. However, prospective parents will want to know more. They don't just want to see pictures of things that you've been up to. You want to hook them in, and hook them in to get them to bring their children to your childcare setting. So think about all the amazing things that you do where you work, the things that make you stand out from other people and from other organisations similar to yours. What makes you different and really, really unique? Why should a parent pick your childcare setting? these really important things are your key messages. And I bang on about these all the time to my clients and like followers on social media. You've got to know what your key messages are. They're the things that you want to shout about, not only in your social media, but in all of your marketing. And think about the things as well that make you really unique, like you know, what makes you stand out from the childcare setting down the road, or like the parents option number 2. What makes you really different from that? And it could be you know, simple things like you have small numbers, so you get to know each child individually. You might have a forest school or some really lovely outdoor area that the place down the road doesn't have. Competitive prices. You prepare your children for a transition to school. Learning through play, home cooked meals on site, you know, whatever it is that are the key things that you want those prospective parents to know, they're the key messages, and they're the things that you need to be telling them in your social media. I also want you to think about those prospective parents' pain points and problems, like what are the problems that they're experiencing with childcare, or the current childcare that their children are having. What are their questions? What are the things that they're going to ask you? You'll probably know yourself from talking to parents or taking inquiries. What are the top 5 or 10 questions that people always ask you? They're the things as well that you need to be addressing in your social media. So the next thing I want you to think about is your aims for social media, and this will be different for all of you. It could be, right, I want to grow my audience. Perhaps it's getting more engagement on posts. Maybe you want to experiment with new posts and try something new. Perhaps you want to drive traffic to a certain page on your website. Maybe you want to generate leads through Facebook adverts or attract more inquiries. So these are all things that you can measure with social media as well. So think about specifically what's important for you to get out of social media. And it doesn't have to be, I want 10,000 followers, because realistically, how many of us have 10,000 followers? Be really realistic with your aims as well. It might just be, I want to find a better system for managing my social media so it works better for us. It could be something as simple as that. So think about your aims as well. So by understanding what you want to achieve, it gives you a clear picture of what you need to do, rather than being reactive and just posting randomly all the time. So writing down, oh, has that slipped back again? There we go. So writing down who you want to target, what you want to tell them, and what you want to achieve. And that is pretty much basically the beginnings of your social media strategy. If you have those things covered, really think about it. It will make you think about your social media in a different way. Okay, what to post? The $1 million question. And I find with literally everybody that I speak to, that people just get this creative block and just really don't know what to post half the time. Now, some of you might have found that you've nailed this in terms of posting those updates for current parents. You might be getting loads of engagement, loads of people commenting or liking or sharing posts, but who is doing the commenting, liking and sharing? Have a little look. Is it current parents? Which is fantastic that they're engaging with you, but you want to see more engagement from prospective parents. So if we're thinking of targeting those prospective parents and new customers, how can we change up our posts to attract more people and new followers? So this is where our key messages come in. You need to be sharing posts that give information to new parents. What would you want to know if you needed to look for some childcare? Or a new nursery or an after school club? What are the key things that you would want to know? And then you want to address those issues in your posts. So you want to share posts that really resonate with people and show off your childcare setting, your nursery, and your after school club, whatever it is. Show off how amazing it is and your bit of personality as well thrown in. You want to show that you understand how parents feel. And even, some of you might not be parents yourself. You might be young, working in the establishment, or your children might have grown up and flown the nest, but you still can understand what those parents, what their worries are, what their questions are. So you need to be thinking about posts that are going to resonate with them. So we can group posts into categories, and this is a really good way, a really effective way of managing what to share and coming up with creative ideas. So the first type of post is to educate. So you want to educate people about your childcare setting. Answer those questions again, answer those pain points. What are those top questions that parents always ask you? Tell them, answer those questions for them in a post. You can also educate them about some of the things that you do or what you're teaching. So activities, things that you do with the children. Potentially things that parents can do at home. How can you help your children learn to dress? You could even film. I know my little girl, she's not very good with her fine motor skills. So at preschool, they would show you how to help her fasten buttons and things. Even doing a little tutorial video about that kind of stuff. This is what you could be doing with your child at home to help them. Learning to dress, developing speech, things that they can do at home to help their children, motor skills, mindfulness. You want to be showing that you are the experts in your field, that you know what you're talking about. The next thing I want you to think about is inspire. So you need to inspire people. You want to inspire your potential customers, those potential parents. So a great way of doing this, and believe it or not, you will all have seen this on social media, quotes. And sometimes it can be a bit of a pain, and sometimes you think, oh, it's just a bit fancy. But when I look back through at my stats for social media, some of the top performing posts are quotes. So any inspirational quotes that you can find, you might see one on Instagram or social Facebook, you might find some on Pinterest, you might find them on Google. And if you credit who made the quote or who originally said it, you'll be fine. Recreate it. Don't just copy and paste things off Google. You don't want to end up with Getty Images coming chasing you for thousands of pounds, which has happened to one of my clients before. But using a tool like something, there's a really great tool called Canva. I know Bex loves this as much as I do, where you can go in and you can use that quote and create your own nice graphics with your own logo and branding on it, that kind of thing. So inspirational quotes do amazingly well on social media. But I just don't want you to think about any old social media quote. I want you to think again about those things that are going to resonate with parents. So I posted one, I think it was in the lockdown, that said something like, I feel like I'm a Blue Peter presenter, a Mary Berry wannabe, and an octopus, or something really random like that, because it was running ragged. And it got so many people liking, because people resonated with how I was feeling. People got it. So think about those inspirational quotes. Alternatively, you can inspire them with maybe some good news stories about things that have happened in your childcare setting. So if someone's just learned to tie their shoes, or someone's created an amazing picture, or a testimonial that somebody that used to be in your organisation has gone on to achieve great things. Maybe one of the staff members has done a charity race or something like that. Think about those things that are going to inspire other people. The next thing I want you to think about is posts that cause a discussion. So you want to think about asking questions. Pose those questions that are going to get people commenting. For example, there was so much on social media on Tuesday about pancakes. Now, if you're on social media, if you missed all the posts about pancakes, go and have a look, because everybody was debating whether it was sweet or savoury, or I personally am not a very good baker, and mine just looked a bit rubbish. So I posted, this is what a stock photo looks like, this is what my rubbish pancakes look like. And loads of people started commenting at what they were going to have on their pancakes. So it could be something as simple as that, but then related to your childcare setting. So think about those questions that get conversations going. Big topic at the moment, obviously, homeschooling. What's it like? How are you feeling at the moment about having your children at home with you? You know, there's all sorts of different things that you can pose questions, get a conversation. And it's not necessarily about having a debate. I'm not a fan of debates and things on social media, because I think people just get a bit nitpicky. But just asking a question. What are you up to this weekend? It's raining. Have you got any plans for doing fun activities with the kids inside? That kind of question. Things that resonate with people, things that are going to get people talking. And the next thing is about selling. And you might go, oh, and you do. Social media doesn't work where every single post is sell, sell, sell. People turn off and people won't follow you. People won't engage with your posts. However, it is acceptable if you mix it in with posts that educate, inspire and discuss, and your general day-to-day posts of this is what everyone's been up to. Those posts that sell. So those posts that sell your education, your childcare setting. So this is what you want to do if you really want to increase your occupancy. Tell them about your USPs and key messages, what makes you different and stand out. Encourage them to make an inquiry. Tell them the easy way to do that. Direct them to your website. You know, if you've got an inquiry form on your website, or you've got a download on your website, you've got more information about some of the activities that you do, direct them there. Tell them exactly what you want to do. Tell them to pick up the phone. Tell them to email. Sell to them. And it doesn't have to be like a direct sell. It can be really subtle. Just, have you got a child at the moment? Have you got you know, an issue with childcare? We can maybe help out. This is what we do. Have a look at our website for more information. So you're subtly dropping in a selling post each week. And there's lots of different ways that you can do these type of posts as well. Just wondering, everyone, I was just seeing if there was stuff in the chat there. It started flashing at me, but hopefully everyone can hear me okay. So there's different ways as well that you can post, and that could be through, it can be a simple graphic that you create on Canva. That's great for those quotes. Photos obviously are brilliant, and also videos. Don't be afraid of getting in front of the camera, or even just a little video of what the children are doing, one of the activities they're doing, or some more of those sort of like educational posts of here's how we're doing phonics, or here's how you tie your shoelace, or here's a game we've been playing. You know, it could be anything like that. Little videos as well. Photos and videos are fantastic. And like I said before, Canva is a fantastic tool where you can drop in your brand colours and your logo and just make everything look streamlined and professional. So think of your posts at the moment are just informing parents of what you're doing, or are they actually promoting your childcare setting in the best possible way? And what I would just say as well on these types of posts, it's actually what I do with my social media and all my clients is, so actually I'm just going to pop onto the next page. How to manage it. This will help. If you've written down those 4 things, educate, inspire, discuss and sell, what you can do is use them as a bit of a framework for your social media. So it might be that on Monday, you do an education post. On a Tuesday, you do an inspiration post. Or Wednesday is a discuss post. Your Thursday is your selling day. Friday, It could be like a fun fact you're going to share on a Friday about your childcare setting. And it's a really good way just to give you a bit of an idea of what to post each day. And then you can interweave those more spontaneous posts through it as well about, oh, this is what we've been up to today. So it's a really good way to plan it. And literally, like, you can do this in an Excel spreadsheet. You could do it on a Word document, but just writing down those different key points for each day. So you've got a bit of an idea of what you know, a bit of an idea of what to post each day. So I'm not going to lie, social media does take work. It takes time and it takes effort. And ideally, you do need somebody that is going to take responsibility for that. Or a couple of people that do it between them. You know, one of the best things that I found when I worked at the school doing their social media was that I would do the strategic posts, like the educate, the inspire, the discuss, the sell. And then there was 3 or 4 teachers who would jump on and they would share, we've been making masks today, or we've had action ants in doing football, that kind of stuff. So having somebody that takes responsibility for it, that can plan that content, it will make it a bit more streamlined and a bit easier to manage. So planning content in advance as well, rather than just taking pictures and uploading them. We're trying to think more strategically about how we can use social media in a better way. So planning content is essential. Ideally, what you want to do is plan a month's worth of content in advance. So literally this week, I have been planning about 5 or 6 different clients' social media for March. And the way that I do it, initially, I would think of, like, what is happening in March? Are there any special occasions? Okay, so in March, we've got Mother's Day. My mind's gone blank now. There's all sorts. There's Global Recycling Day. There is Autism Awareness Week. That's probably a really good one for childcare settings. You can just Google these things. If you just put into Google Awareness Days 2021, it will come up with a massive long list of all the different days. So if you go through your March, you fill in those anniversaries. Then you go through Monday to Friday or Monday to Sunday if you want to post at weekends, and just write in educate, inspire, discuss, sell, educate, inspire, discuss, fun fact. You might even use other things like hashtag Monday Madness or hashtag Top Tip Tuesday, hashtag Wednesday Wisdom. That could be for your inspirational quote. Hashtag Throwback Thursday. That's always quite a nice one to show. Maybe if you've got photos from a few years ago and you can say, oh, crikey, look how, you know, what we did. This was 3 years ago today, sort of thing. Hashtag Fact Friday or Fun Friday. Hashtag Saturday Vibes. There's all these different things that you can use. So pop a few of them into your plan as well. And then think about what's happening in your childcare setting as well. When are the holidays? Obviously, Easter, that's what we've got coming up at the end of March, beginning of April. So we'll have half terms and holidays and things in there as well. So pop all those in and think about how you can write posts around all those different things. You'd be amazed how quickly, if you sit down and just write the 1st to the 31st of March, you put all that in, you'd be amazed how quickly you've got the beginnings of a plan. You've just got to write the post then to go with it, but you know exactly what you can post and when for planning your content. You can sit down and there's some great tools for scheduling as well. So you don't have to think, I'm going to have to sit down every single day and post this. There are great tools that you can schedule content. Now, if you've only got a Facebook page, you can do that in what's called the business suite. So you'll find, or like in your actual page, you can schedule posts. You can literally just go in there and schedule a week's worth of content. So then you can just forget about it and do the general day-to-day posts. If you're using multiple platforms, Instagram and Facebook, You can still do that in Facebook Creator Studio, or there's other tools you can use as well. My personal favorite is called Buffer. There's some others like Hootsuite and TweetDeck, and it's just personal preference of what you like. But I've always found Buffer has been the easiest one to set up and the easiest one to show my clients how to use as well. So you either do it straight in Facebook or into Buffer. And literally, once you've got your plan and you've got your photos, you could schedule content in like half an hour for you really quick. So that's the way to schedule it as well. Schedule content. And then all you need to worry about is some of the day-to-day stuff. Sometimes like I will schedule my content every Friday afternoon or every Saturday, and then it just goes out. I don't have to think about it. But then if something interesting happens, I might post an extra post, but I know it's taken care of. And then all I need to worry about is answering the comments or the questions that come up, and I can just sort of forget about it then. So the other thing is about how to measure it. So if you take a more strategic approach to social media, straight away you will just get a feeling that it's working better without looking at any analytics or anything. You'll notice that more people are commenting on posts or liking posts or sharing them. And you'll notice it's different types of people that are engaging with those posts as well. You just get a feeling if it's working. Like maybe a couple of years ago, I didn't really do that much on my social media, and because I was concentrating on my clients' social media so much. But since I adopted this approach, my social media has gone crazy, and I don't have to look at any analytics or anything. It's just, I know that more people are commenting it, more people understand what I'm talking about, and it's not just selling posts. It's about me, it's about who I am, it's about what I do, it's about showing I'm the expert. So you'll just get a feeling how it's performing. Now, for those people that, there we go, general feelings, improved engagement, more comments, you'll see more people sharing, you'll hopefully see that your followers are going up, you potentially might have more traffic to your website. If you monitor your website traffic through something like Google Analytics, you would potentially see more people coming to your website because you're driving them there. You're saying, come and check us out, have a look what we're doing. And it's resonating with more people, with more potential parents. You might be getting more inquiries as well. You might have more emails that come through, more phone calls, and you will just get a feeling for, right, okay, yeah, we can monitor, actually, this is having an impact, this is having an effect. And you can also have a look at the Facebook analytics. So within Facebook, I can see there I've put Instagram for business down the side. Please ignore that's from an old presentation that I've not taken off. So what was I talking about? That just threw me off then, because I could see. So as well, if you've got somebody in your establishment that, again, like I said at the beginning, is a bit, don't think social media really works very well, by looking at your analytics on your Facebook page, if you look down in the settings, there will be a little one that says Insights. And if you go into there, there's a little date, and you can have a look at the impact. So if you put in your date, say if you want to compare now to 6 months time or 6 months previous, you can go in and put those dates. And the things you want to look at particularly are reach. So it'll come up with a number, or it'll give you an idea. There'll be a little graph, and you can see if your reach has increased. You can also see if you've got more likes. You can also go into the section called posts, and it will tell you which posts are performing better. So then you know to do more of those posts in the future. So for anybody that isn't quite sure if social media really works, start tracking your inquiries, how people hear about you, and have a look at those analytics. And then when you sit down next time with your committee, you can say, I implemented this strategy. These are the changes we've made. and actually look, we're reaching 2,000 more people a month. Our likes have gone up, and we've had 10 more inquiries than we had last March. So you can really show with social media, by doing things like this, it really can have an impact on your business and hopefully increase numbers. So you're using it as a business tool, not just as like an information portal for parents. You're actually using it so it's an effective tool. Okay, what we're like, oh, we're not too bad for time. So now we've got time for any questions and answers, if any, because I know quite often people have questions about social media and just a bit stuck, or there might be some specific things you want to ask, or anything that I've talked about you want to ask me about. Please feel free. Should I close this? I'll just, before we have any questions, I'll just say here as well, so I have a Facebook group called Marketing Made Easy with Lisa, and every week I go live on a Tuesday morning, usually around 10 o'clock, or when my little girl will let me free and not have to do homeschooling, and I give loads of tips on how to use social media and general marketing as well. And I have a session coming up on Wednesday, the 3rd of March, which is all about creating content. Some of the things that I've talked about today in a bit more detail. So how to think up creative ideas and how to make planning content easy, how to find your voice on social media if you're an introvert or shy, or you just really don't know how to convey your message. That's quite a good one. And what to post if you get stuck, if you work in a boring industry. But to be honest, you guys shouldn't get stuck, because childcare is actually quite a rich and interesting subject to talk about. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing that now. And then if anybody has got any questions that they wanted to ask about that, please feel free. How do you want to do this, Bex?
I'm just happy to turn the floor over to you guys, really, to sort of answer any questions. I just want to say thank you, because that was so good. And I've been scribbling notes. Can you pop the name of you and the details for your Facebook group in the chat, Lisa, while we're talking? Is that all right? Yeah. Or when we finish, because I know that Joanna's missed the name of the group. But yeah, I mean, you guys all know that I am a massive fan, perhaps that's the wrong word, a massive advocate of using social media, because whilst word of mouth marketing is incredibly important for childcare, and it's traditionally how we will get most of our sort of referrals, if you like, from people who've used settings beforehand, and then they go and talk to their friends, and that's a really strong way of us getting referrals into our businesses. But actually, we kind of shop for services in a slightly different way now, don't we? Because what we tend to do is, even if somebody recommends something, we go, oh, I'll just go and Google that, or I'll go and see if they've got a Facebook page, and I'll go and have a little look at what that is. So it's not enough, really, I don't believe, for us to rely on social words of mouth advertising. We need some kind of online presence, and I think Lisa's given you some amazing tips on how to kind of make social media your superpower. It's just brilliant. Thank you. So guys, have you got any questions?
I've got a question. Is there any kind of data or any kind of analysis or research that's been done to highlight what demographic profiles use social media in our space in childcare?
I don't know where to refer you to at the moment, but just from what I know and what I've experienced in social media with my clients, is that if generally Facebook has a demographic that is, I would say, 30 plus, and it goes right up to 65 plus. I think so. Facebook is undoubtedly the most powerful social media tool, because there are more people on it, and you will get grandparents that use Facebook and parents. Those people feel comfortable with Facebook. It's been around the longest, and you tend to find that they don't venture to TikTok or Snapchat or Twitter. They tend to stay in Facebook. They know how to use it and they feel comfortable with it. A younger generation, so say from teens, maybe up to 45, I would say, are probably moving to Instagram. So you can get a younger audience on Instagram. And then it's, say if you wanted to target real like young parents, they would be found on Snapchat or TikTok. I'm yet to see for any of my clients that those social media platforms are really effective. Definitely, I would say for childcare settings, it would be Instagram and Facebook. The school that I worked with, quite a few parents were on Twitter, or there was other schools that they would engage with on Twitter. So that was more of like a networking thing where they would tag other schools, like if there'd been a sports day or something like that. And you would tend to find the people that engaged with them on Twitter were more, say, parents who had businesses or worked in business themselves. But yeah, there's quite a mix of different ages, but Facebook definitely is the one that spans more generations. If that all makes
yeah, it's good. Yeah, and I mean, is there any kind of data out there that would suggest how effective this kind of stuff is with after school clubs, let's call it out of school clubs, so that we get the jargon right?
Because I'm not an expert in the field, I haven't seen anything specific to this industry. I mean, I've got clients that work in nuclear industry or pudding companies and like all sorts of different things. So I haven't seen anything specific to this industry. I could have a little look. I mean, like I said, I'm part of the Chartered Institute of Marketing, and they have a lot of resources and reports and things like what you're asking. So I could see if there's anything specific on there about education setting. And the school that I used to work with was a private school as well. So there was lots of information that we had, but it was for a private school setting. So I could have a little look if that would be useful. And then Rebecca could share it with you all. I could see if I could find something that is specific for your sort of organisations.
Yeah, I haven't come across anything, Mark. I'm not sure. Childcare marketing might have that sort of information. Childcaremarketing.co.uk, because they're kind of industry specific, but they're relatively new, so they may or may not. They perhaps know. I think that, I suppose one of the things that I talk quite a lot about is actually about tracking the effectiveness of your social media, or any kinds of marketing activity that you're doing. And I'm sure, trying not to steal Lisa's thunder at all. But in terms of that being part of your actual marketing strategy and making sure that you are tracking that, so you know what's effective for your target audience, that's probably more important than any kind of broad sort of market driven, because your target audience, so the clients you're trying to attract, they may hang out on Twitter as opposed to Facebook or Instagram, and that would be where you would target them. And it is about that kind of client targeting, really. Yep. We've got a comment there saying from Sarah, we think Facebook has helped spread the word, especially for school holiday clubs. And that's something that anecdotally I've heard a lot about, how that sort of question that we ask our customers really is, well, how did you find out about us? And they go, oh, my friend shared a post on Facebook and I picked it up and I went, oh yeah, that might work, So I think there's a lot of anecdotal evidence, but I don't think there's anything specific from an industry, in terms of actual evidence-based practice. I don't think there's anything that I've come across yet.
And I think as well, just, having a record of how many inquiries you've got, or asking if people make an inquiry, where did you hear about us? You probably start finding that more people will say, or Facebook or social media. So tracking that, and like Beck said, having a look at the analytics as well, and just monitoring how it changes over time, and you probably find that it answers answers that question. If it's starting to work for you, then it's a positive form of marketing.
Sure.
There's a question in the chat from Sarah. Do you think there is a best time to post? We heard Sunday evening's good as a lot of people catching up on social media then. Yeah, generally, one thing I would say about a lot of people get hung up on the time to post, but I think what is more important, what is the most important thing to think about is what you're posting. So you've got to nail your content. You've got to get your content right first. You could post any time of day, and if your content's not right, no one's going to engage with it. So it doesn't matter what time you post. If you've got your content right and you're posting really good stuff, what I tend to find, the majority of people posting first thing in the morning. So I don't know if you all do this, and I've actually stopped doing it this week, but the first thing I would do in the morning would be get my phone and start scrolling on social media. And now I'm stopping doing that because it was taking over my life a bit too much. But people will pick up the phone in the morning, have a quick look before they get in the shower or while they're having breakfast, catch up on the news for the day. So before they go to work. So between 7 and 9 in the morning, a little peek around lunchtime, again, people are on a break, and then in the evening. So anything after 6 o'clock, from about 6 o'clock till 10 o'clock, that is the peak time of when people are on social media. And I would say every single one of my clients that I work with, so we've got like 10 to 15 clients at the moment, every single graph that shows when people are online is that bit of a peak in the morning and then a really big peak in the evening. And yes, Sunday evenings as well. People are on, think about it as well of a weekend. If people are maybe having a lie-in, maybe not if they've got children. So you can maybe post a bit earlier, like 6 o'clock in the morning, like me. But you could, weekends as well, or make it relevant, your post, to a weekend or Sunday, what you're doing on a Sunday evening, getting ready for school or getting ready for work this week. So yeah, Sunday evenings are a good time to post as well. Just think about yourself when you take time out or when you're sitting chilling and you might pick up your phone if you use social media. That's when people are online. And then in the insights in Facebook as well, if you've got an existing page already, if you go into insights and you go into posts, there will be a graph along the top and it will tell you when people are online. So for your own establishment, find out when those people are online. I can pretty much guarantee it's between 6 o'clock and 9 o'clock at night. That's when you need to be posting. It'll also tell you which days as well that they're more likely online. So I know for me, like for business, to be honest, there's not as many business people, they don't want to think about business during the weekend. So I don't post as much at a weekend. So have a little look at what it says in your stats for your childcare setting. Is there any other? I've got another one, I think, here from Karen. Thanks for your presentation, hugely informative. Thank you. As a reluctant user of social media, I'm interested in how to stop these types of platforms being a tool for parents to post negative comments, which can often be quite personal. Yeah, Bex knows I've had this recently as well with people commenting. And I think it's really difficult, isn't it? Especially in a childcare setting when you have got to be professional and you've got to show an example. And if somebody does post something negative, of how you react to that. Again, something that I tell people is that if you have any type of like complaints policy or anything like that, there is a way that you would deal with negative comments or negative feedback. And it's very similar on social media as well. So what I always say is to reply politely and invite that person to engage in a direct message or to email you or to phone you to take that concern up further and try not to get into any tit for tat. I think unfortunately people will always use it as a bit of a way to hide. I think people feel that it protects them and they can say whatever they want on social media and it doesn't matter. And that's probably the type of people that sometimes would write those comments. I don't think there's anything you can do to stop people writing those comments. And I think that you potentially can block people if they become a persistent problem. But if you handle it in a professional manner, that comes across better than the person that's left the negative comment. Sarah's put, we've just had it too, but have created a social media policy asking parents not to post negative comments. As business page, you can delete negative comments. Yeah. So yeah, react to it nicely, delete them if need be. If it's a current parent, I would be diplomatic and potentially speak to them privately about that or kick them off the page. But having a social media policy is a good way around it as well, pointing out to people.
I think it's really important to consider what your boundaries are on your page. So I know that you can set up rules and things like in terms of groups. You don't put rules on for business pages though, do you? So if you like for my group, Childcare Collective, we set up rules which are pretty simple and easy to follow. But you don't really do that for your page as such. But what you can set is kind of behavior expectations and work out what your bottom line is around what you will and won't accept. And a lot of people will talk about discriminatory language, inappropriate or offensive materials, all of that sort of stuff that they're kind of expecting isn't shared through the business page. And that's a really nice way of kind of also encouraging parents not to post negatively. So if they've got any negative comments, to drop you a DM or to send you an email or follow your complaints process. Would you agree, Lisa? Is that all?
Yeah, definitely. And like from working with the school, I know there was so many policies and all sorts of different things, like bullying policy, and there was just all sorts. So I guess if you have a pack of information that you give parents when any children start, if it has a social media policy in there that outlines that, they've had it. So if anybody does make any comments, you can simply put as well, refer to our social media policy. There's also a space on your page somewhere, I think, to put files. So you could always upload it there as your social media policy onto your Facebook business page. And if somebody did say something negative, you could just simply put, please may I just refer you to our social media policy. Joys of everyone working at home at the moment. At least it's not the 5-year-old running in dressed as a unicorn, which quite often happens. But yeah, I would maybe add it to your Facebook page as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's really good advice. Really good advice. And I know, Lisa, bless you, you've had some real difficulty with a couple of people posting on social media, but has handled it with dignity and has turned it into a learning experience for those in her audience around actually how to handle stuff on social media. And she's mega on social media. Guys, have you got any other questions for Lisa? Anything you've always wanted to ask somebody about the inner workings of the internet?
The joys of social media. But one thing to just sort of end on as well is trying not to make it feel really overwhelming, and that you don't like it and that, oh God, I don't want to use it. Find a way that works for you. However that is, planning content or writing the types of posts, whatever works for you, that you feel comfortable with and that you enjoy doing as well. If it's a chore, it's going to come across. Or find somebody within the organisation that were like, actually, yeah, I don't mind doing that. Try not to get overwhelmed by it, because it can be. And actually, it's a fun thing to use when you don't think about it too much and you start engaging with people. But hopefully, once you create, that exciting, interesting content, people will engage with it more, and you'll end up having more fun with it. At the school, we used to make little, like at Christmas, we'd do little viral videos, and all the children would dress up, or we did this. They were learning in the choir, dancing in the street. So I had 2 of the young boys dressed up as Mick Jagger and David Bowie, and they were all dancing, and they had this dance routine, and sharing little things like that. It became fun. So try not to make it too overwhelming, and find the fun in it too. Someone's just put something that Sarah's just put. I think I would benefit of knowing how to use Page better. Things heard today I didn't know about, like files, need to explore. With little things like this I talk about in my group as well, just little like hacks and tips and you know, little things that might be of benefit that you can use on your social media.
Lisa's top tip Tuesdays are really good. I've learned a lot already, and I found myself delving into previous top tips. I haven't told her this, I'm embarrassing now, but yeah, I found myself going backwards and going, oh, that was really good, and going back to the next one and the next one. So there you go. That's a good question.
They're always there. They're always there that people can go on and, like, I've done them about Facebook ads or content, what to post, Instagram, tutorials of how to schedule things. This week I did one about branding and top tips for branding. So there's all sorts of different things on there to do with not just social media, but marketing in general, PR and photography and lots of different things.
There's another question in the chat for you from Nicola saying, what's the difference between a Facebook page and a Facebook group?
Okay, so your business page it's like your shop window for your business and who you are. It's showing, this is my business, this is who I am, this is what I do. Your group is almost like your little tribe and your community on social media. So anybody can look at your page, anybody can comment or like, or, you know, that's where you build up your followers. If they then come into your group, it's like your special little club in a way. So like my daughter's primary school, they have a page in a group, and the page, they put like general information. They're like what we were talking about, educate, inspire, sell, those kind of posts. Within the group, they put the like really personal stuff for parents that they wouldn't want the general public knowing. So it's like their little community where they can have a bit of a chit chat sort of thing. Or like my Facebook page has my educate, inspire, sell. This is my shop window. This is who Lisa and Acorn Marketing is. But come into my group and you get to know me and you get all these tips and you get all this information. So it's a little bit different that way. So yeah, think of your page as your shop window and your group as your like online club, if you like.
Yeah, that's a really good way of explaining it. And I suppose the way for you guys to start thinking about it in childcare terms, in terms of your business, is that your Facebook page is for all your prospective customers, and your Facebook group would be for your existing customers. So people, you know, your current kids, if you like, and you might cross post some stuff, but you're not going to talk about the kind of the inner workings of club on your shop window. You're not going to plaster it all over your shop window. Does that help, Nicola? Good.
Great.
Fab.
Good stuff.
Any other last minute questions?
If anybody thinks of anything, or like if you start doing some of this and be like, oh my God, I really can't remember what she said, or I'm stuck, feel free to like come into the group as well. And I encourage people to share, like somebody put yesterday, it was like, how do I change my email on YouTube? And then other people will comment if I'm not there, or so feel free to jump into the group, say you're on this session, so I know who you are and what you're talking about. And you know, if you want to ask any questions in there, then please feel free.
Oh, thank you so much, Lisa. Really appreciate it.
Oh, there's another question from Nicola. Let's quickly answer this.
Ooh.
Oh, wait a minute. If people join your group, then children leave, so do you take them off the group? You don't necessarily have to take them off the group. If they've joined, they can stay in there. They can leave of their own accord if it's not relevant to them anymore. So keep them in there. Oh yeah, and she's downloaded Buffer and is going to start working on it. Well, if you look in the group, Nicola, there's a tutorial on how to use it, how to set it up and use it that I did a few weeks ago, so that might help you as well. Good stuff.
Thank you, honey. I know that you've got an exciting evening of cocktail making.
Yes, we're doing cocktail making tonight. So I've been getting like gin and rum and vodka and raspberries and all sorts. So I'm hoping I don't have a headache tomorrow because I'm not really used to drinking that kind of stuff anymore, or going out drinking. So we'll see.
Oh, brilliant. No, thank you so much. And I'm sure this session's been really appreciated by everybody here. So thank you so much for joining us. I hugely appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Bye, Lizzie.
Bye.